Welcome back to another video, you juicy pineapples. Now, today's video, we're going to get into Daniel Dubois versus Usyk number 2. Now, I did do a video actually breaking down on what I thought the prediction would have been, but I weren't able to post it due to some problems. Now, my prediction was for that fight that Usyk would get a late stoppage, that he would get like a 7th to 8th round stoppage. Now, I wasn't far off, but at the same time, I didn't think it would be that early. No matter what scenario I would have put it through, I wouldn't have thought he'd have got it done that early. Now, a lot of speculation saying Daniel quit. Do I think he quit? It's hard to say without actually being in Daniel's brain if he quit or not. But from the spectator's view, yeah, he probably did quit. Now, you're in an undisputed, unified heavyweight fight that hasn't been done for many, many years. It's probably a opportunity of a lifetime. Now, you go out on your shield. You don't go out on your knee. Now, this is one thing that I did actually explain in that video, that Daniel is easy to bully. If you got the upper hand of him, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it, and he will shell away. In that Joe Joyce fight, a lot of people say he quit in that, but I think he actually done the smart decision by taking the knee and actually throwing it in, if as you will. If you class it as giving up, then fair enough. But me personally, I feel like Daniel chose the right decision in that fight just because he probably saved his career by actually giving up. Because if you saw the state of his eye, if he had took much more damage than that, that would have been permanent. The damage would have been permanent, and it wouldn't have been good for the rest of his career if he would have even had one after that. So I can't fault him for that. The first Usyk fight went down on a jab, gave up there. He knew he was beat. I don't think he saw any way. I don't think he had any self-belief that he was going to win that fight. So I feel like that's why he chose to stay down on off the jab. And I feel like when you're coming into a fight like this with the unified, undisputed heavyweight fight, I think you don't only owe it to yourself, you owe it to your fans. You owe it to your fans to stay in there and go out on your shield. And I'm not saying get knocked out for the fans. It's more of a fact of show them that you want it. Get up, go out swinging. And when I first watched it, to be fair, I thought that he was done. I thought he was actually unconscious. Like after the second knockdown, I thought that's it. There was no getting up from that. But when I rewatched it, he was fully sane. He was fully conscious. He was there. There was nothing really there that made me feel like, oh damn, he's done. Like when I rewatched it, he was fine. He was conscious. He was supposed to be looking at his corner. He wasn't. He was looking at his dad's instructions. And if you know Daniel, his career is very, very evolved around his dad. Like so, whatever his dad says will go. And there was some speculation leading up to that build-up of the fight that there was a party. Now, apparently, this is how they prepared with the Joshua fight, and it brought him up well, so they didn't want to change it. But you just wouldn't, would you? Like you see all the boxing greats at the minute, like the active boxing greats like Joseph Parker, Lawrence Okoli, Carl Froch, Lennox Lewis, Carl Frampton. They're all saying, even Spencer Oliver, you just wouldn't do that in a scenario that you're fighting for. It's a once in life opportunity. You wouldn't. Yeah, fair enough. People get superstitious about everything has to be exactly how it is for every single fight, or else it's gonna throw me off. But you don't attend a party and you don't turn up an hour and a half before the fight to get ready. Yes, your hands are up, you warm up, your mental state of preparing, of relaying how this whole event is going to go through, how Usyk is going to be expecting me to fight, etc. Like how I vision this fight going. An hour and a half, no way. That is mental. Like you wouldn't even see amateurs do that. Amateurs get there way before, and it's like you see your opponent in the amateurs. It's very weird because you see your opponent warming up right next to you, and like they even do this thing that they try to stay you out, like try and intimidate you as an amateur, and you're just like, I don't know what they expect you to do. They expect you to be like, don't look at me like that. I'm scared. Like I'm actually going to back out of this. No, but anyway, we're not talking about that. That could be a video for another day, I suppose. But did Daniel quit for me? Yeah, I feel like he did swallow it. Um, where do you go from there? The thing is, if you're part of Daniel's team, or if you're around the Daniel camp, how do you right your wrong? Because I know Don Charles, he's been out on an interview saying that he threw the towel in on the ninth to like kind of as a reaction to the situation. Like it was like not so much a panic, but it was like a stress relief in a way. Um, but I don't know. I think he's actually thrown that to make Daniel. You see it though. You see it on the count. Like Daniel's looking over and he's like giving him a nod. Like, is that to say he's okay, or is that to say, you know what, throw it? You don't know. It's hard. It's hard. It really is, because you've never been in that position, especially when the towel's thrown in. You stand up on the 9 count, and then it gets weighed off because he isn't up in time, and then he walks fine. He walks fine over to his corner. That's not what you want to see for somebody that's going to get that opportunity maybe once in his lifetime. Maybe. Depend how Usyk decides to carry on his career after that. What do I do? Do I think Usyk was just levels better? Yes, as I feel like he is in every single fight that he goes into. But do I feel like he's miles better than what he has been before? I feel like he's still getting better, which is crazy to say because he is still at the top level and nobody's even getting close to that. But at the same time, I just don't think Daniel showed up. I don't think he really got going that first round. First round was good. I thought he put Usyk on the back foot and he was like kind of bullying him in a way. And I think Usyk was actually starting to understand, well, actually, he's a big guy here. Like, he's able to do what I don't want him to do. Then second, third, fourth, Usyk just finds the uncomfortable position, and then he centers off. He creates angles to move around the center. When he realizes that, yeah, this guy is actually really good at like pushing me back, like he's very strong and physical. I'll take the center. I'll take the center and I'll lead this dance. And he does it so well. He does it every single fight, and he does it so well that nobody knows what to do. He makes you fight at a tempo that you didn't think existed. That you think that you only have in you for 1 or 2 rounds, or maybe even the last 10 seconds of every round. Usyk has that tempo first to the 12th. How does he do it? He's a freak of nature. He takes his training serious, and he changes his camp up every time, whether it's the training side of things, the technique, the technical side, or this S&C, the strength and conditioning side of things. He changes every single camp as he goes along. He obviously has his specifics that he trains for in a fighter, but as in the build up for the fitness, I feel like when he came into this fight, he was a lot thicker than what he normally is, and you can definitely see he had like a point to prove that I'm going to bully this guy. I'm going to bully the bully, and to be honest, he did. He made easy work of him. I know there's a lot of pros saying, well, actually, there's Carl Froch saying he's not going to say he's the greatest of all time, etc. Based on the circumstance where he is in his career now, because I don't think it's over for Usyk. I still think that he could have four or five fights if he wanted to. He'll probably have 1 or 2, but I still think he's got 4 or 5 in him. As long as he fights 2 or 3 times in a year. Who beats him? To be honest, the only one that gives him problems for me is Moses Atalma. And Moses Atalma that's way too soon for him. That's what if Usyk decides to stay around for 4 or 5 fights, I feel like the fourth or fifth fight could be Moses, because I think Moses is going to show very quick that he belongs at that top level. But take nothing away from Usyk, he's just a generational great. And to be honest, if you're looking to get your kid or a younger sibling or whatever into the sport of boxing, you look at fighters like him and Katie Taylor. You look at those sort of fighters because they are an inspiration to the sport, and they do what no other fighters can do. Like a Mayweather, if you want to look at his technicality. Don't get me wrong. I don't think anybody will probably be able to recreate the way his defense was his offense. I don't think you're going to get another fighter that can do it that well. I mean, you've got Bam Bam Rodriguez. I mean, his movement's great as well. But who's going to do it like Usyk? They're now saying, because he's that good, they're now saying, would he stand with the old timers, with the Lennox Lewises, the George Foremans, the Evander Holyfields, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali? Would he stand with them? Yeah, I think he would. I feel like the only person that would give him a problem would be Lennox Lewis. But however, I still think Usyk, I wouldn't count him out of that fight. But it's just the who say what say. You just don't know. It's just a guessing game at that point. I don't really like to get into hypotheticals with the past generations and the current generations, etc. Because it's just hypotheticals, isn't it? Because who knows? It's all he say, she say. But coming from that, what do I see next to Daniel Dubois? I don't know. I think he needs some time off. He needs to, I don't know, he either needs to take some time off or he needs to get straight back in there. There's no in between, really, because he's still at that top level, but he's painted the way for a lot of fighters now to beat him. You've got to make him uncomfortable. You've got to beat him early rounds. You've got to give him no success, and he will probably just fold at you. He will just give in. Might be harsh of me saying, because obviously Daniel Dubois, he's at the top level. I've never ever even dreamt about reaching that top, and never ever will. So it's fight or flight mode. Yeah, you just don't know. I don't know. I feel like, my personal opinion, I'm not saying Daniel should give it up, but I'm just saying he should probably think about, if boxing the sport for him. Like, is his head really in it? If he can't dig deep into those sort of fights and rise up and come back from being the underdog, then what is he doing it for? I mean, you got to, I don't know. It's very hard. Like that Dubois who fought AJ wasn't there. He just wasn't there. He didn't turn up. That killer didn't turn up. He didn't look like he was ready for it. I don't know. He fooled us all in the build-up. So did Frank Warren. They fooled us all. Thought we were going to get an absolute war, but Usyk once again proves himself to be way better than any heavyweight in the division. Now, let me know what you guys think. If you thought the same as I, or if you thought Daniel threw it, if you didn't think he did, or if you think Usyk is just that levels above, which I honestly think the same as well. Let me know what you think below. But for now, thank you for coming across another video, and I will catch you at the next one. But then they can't be as frequent because for some reason, I don't know what's going on. My account's being shadowed if I post every 24 hours, but if I post every now and then, it seems to be fine. Let me know what you guys think, but thank you again for coming across another video, and please do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you at the next one. Whoosh!